Hello and thanks for joining the Thursday edition of Journalist Hangout. I am Veronica Danik-Boy. Today on the program, Senate probes Kogi Governor over alleged double registration, and later on the show, APC National Chairman Oyegun National Working Committee members get 1-year extension. I will be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Utitoju and Chris Kende Nwadu. Gentlemen, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having us.
Journalist Hangout starts now. Now, Kogi State Governor Yaya Bello appears to thrive in controversies. His people are disgruntled with his style of governance and condemned him for supporting the creation of cattle colonies in the state. Today, Bello is in the eye of the storm over allegations of double registration with the Independent National Electoral Commission. 3 INEC staff lost their jobs for their alleged roles in that incident. Last week, Bello obtained a temporary voter card at his Okene ward, with the electoral body explaining that it has transferred his franchise from Abuja to Kogi State. On Wednesday, the Senate wondered why INEC sanctioned its staff involved in the scandal, but chose to issue a new card to Governor Bello. It is not clear what the Senate hopes to achieve, as under the federal system, the National Assembly has no power to sanction any state governor. What is going on, Chidi? I've seen that INEC at some point has said he has no case to answer because they've finally been able to transfer his details from the previous card to this one now.
I don't know what the Senate wants to achieve at this stage, but the truth is, the governor of Kogi State registered in Wuse Zone 4 in 2011, and many years after, he sat down in Government House and called the staff of INEC to come and register him. By INEC laws, the registration of any individual, whether you are Wario or you are someone else, can only be done at an INEC designated center. So Bello was wrong in sending for INEC staff to come and register him inside Government House. This is a governor who just does what he likes, so he clearly did not even check the laws. So he was wrong on that. Secondly, you are supposed to transfer, you notify INEC of your desire to transfer your details, registration to another state. Okay. Many people did it before the last governorship election. Faleke transferred his registration from Lagos, Ikeja, to Kogi, and some of his supporters did the same. But Bello felt, well, that he didn't have to get them to officially transfer his registration, because when they officially transfer your registration, it means they will withdraw the other
previous voter
card from their system. But the moment you got yourself registered by sitting inside the Government House and calling those hapless INEC staff to come and register you, it triggered an alarm, an alarm about double registration. And at that point, the INEC people knew that something was wrong. And that was why they decided to investigate, and then they put their staff under trial by their own rules. And 2 of the staff were asked to go because they shouldn't have done that. The due process was not followed, and then INEC indicated a desire to put Bello on trial once he's out of office and he no longer enjoys immunity. So INEC announced at that time that to put him on trial. Yeah. For now, You cannot put him on trial.
Because he's a governor.
He's a governor, he has immunity. You may not like the way he goes to Aso Rock more frequently than the official residents of Aso Rock. There's nothing you can do about that. You can only wait until he's officially probably voted out of office or wait until something else happens. Maybe he gets impeached. For now, it doesn't look like anybody will impeach him in Kogi State. So the senators would have to wait. They will have to wait to see to put the governor under trial of any sort. For now, they can only. They are just wasting their time. There's nothing they can do to the Bello.
Chris, we wonder what really, because from what Jide has said, the illegality of the process seemed to be the challenge. Yeah. Is that what the Senate is trying to check here from your point of view? Well,
we still have to, before even answering that, let's still go back a bit. When the issue of the registration or re-registration or whatever registration we call it, that Bello got himself involved in the last time, that led to the suspension of the INEC officials in Government House. Bello came out, I remember vividly, because I watched him and I saw a clip of his. He came out to say that he was not in the country then. Yes, he said he was not in the country. In fact, he brought so many, he brought his ticket that he traveled from here to Dubai. From Dubai that he went to, I think, to London, from there to America. That within those periods that they were accusing him of being involved in double registration, that he was not in the country, that he went for medical checkup and the rest of them. So that he couldn't have been this same Yaya Bello talking, that would be in Dubai, that would be in London, and they would listen and would be accused of it. But all of us saw the pictures, right? We also saw the pictures where he was being registered by INEC. So I think that's what the Senate, I don't know why they derive the power to, as Jide are trying to do, is to be able to unravel that mystery. That's one. Then, don't forget, 2 INEC officials were suspended. If the man said that he wasn't registered and he was not in Kogi, so under what basis are those being sacked? Okay. Then, Bello is a governor. In fact, I don't know, sincerely, I don't know how to refer to him and what to say. He's a man that has decided to get himself involved in all sorts of controversies. And as I always said, these are some of the people, the young, what do we call that campaign? The not too young to run. These are the people we are looking forward to. That they are representing.
I think we make a mistake by thinking Bello is so young. Yes. Bello is in excess of 40 years.
Yes.
People like Donald Duke were much younger than that when they became governor. Even Bukola Saraki was not up to 40 when they became governor. Well, people like Saminu Turaki were much younger than him when they became governor. But people like Ali Saad Brilliant Kudu was much younger than him when he became governor. So when people say that a 41-year-old man is that young, I mean, what is young about 41-year-old man?
No, they have reason for that.
It seems, we seem to think now that because this generation, currently, there are many governors who are clearly above 40. We think that it is such a new thing. It's not a new thing. Bukola Saraki was around 38 or so when he became governor. There were people who were 32 when they became, in this same country.
Was also
yes, in fact, I remember they used to call themselves the class of 40 at that time. So someone becoming governor at the age of 40 should not be something, every time they say he's young. He's not so young.
Yes.
The 40-year-old man is not so young.
The age to give room for
why? No, let me tell you why people do that. Currently, out of the 36 state governors in Nigeria, Yaya Bello is the youngest. Okay? So people use that. It's not that looking at his judge.
But yes, does not mean that he's so young.
Yes, but the wiseness of Solomon has nothing to do with the old age of Methuselah. It's not a question of how old you are or how young you are. Someone like Gowon become a president, the head of state of Nigeria.
32.
At 32. When some people are just leaving university, 32 years. So back to the question, I think that the Senate want to get to the root of this. And I want to see the hand of Esau and the voice of Jacob in all this, knowing the controversy that has been going on between one of the senators from Kogi State and
yeah, because I was going to ask,
yes.
Could there be more to this than we seem to know?
Yes,
or
I think there's more to it. But INEC, what we have to determine is that what Yaya Bello did, was it wrong or right? Because if that is not corrected, if it's not nipped in the bud, tomorrow somebody will just wake up and say, it is a breach of the Electoral Act. It's a breach of the electoral process. If you are going to do your transfer, there's a formal way of transfer. That means even with the one that that means almost the third time that is getting himself registered, which is very, very wrong. If you are transferring your details from Abuja to Kogi, there is a proper way and channel to go about it, and that has been stated by INEC.
But some persons have said that they have had challenges transferring their details from one place to the other. Yeah. Isn't it about the process now? Not about the person, but looking about the process of transferring details from one state to the other?
No, there is a window for that transfer to take place. I don't know whether the people complaining have clearly followed the laid down procedures. I know at least 10 persons who transferred their registration just to assist the Audu Faleke team to win, from Lagos here. So, and it was not a difficult situation. The elections came, and the elections were held in November, I think I remember. 2 months to that time. These guys successfully transferred their registration. So it's not such a difficult thing. Now we've seen, maybe now Yaya Bello has done the right thing by going to his village in Kenebi, Gaza, or where does it come from? Maybe he has now gone there and gone to a designated INEC center to officially be registered, and for the old registration, that he did in 2011, we'll say, to be officially withdrawn. So if he has fulfilled that, then he's done the right thing. But it doesn't mean that what he did that first time, for which those INEC staff have been punished, it doesn't mean that it will be forgotten.
Why?
No, it doesn't mean it will be forgotten.
Okay.
Because at that time, he committed a crime against the state. So if they want to press charges, they can still go ahead to press charges that on so occasion, you committed double registration. But I do not see...
The focus of the Senate seems to be on the fact that he has now gotten a temporary...
They want to know whether even in obtaining that one,
that is it.
That he followed due procedure. Did he go to Kenya to obtain it? Or maybe he sat in an hotel room or his new building in Okene and got himself registered. They want to know whether this time around he actually followed the due process. I'm sure that is what they are trying, because who knows, there may have been a breach of due process again in doing this, which will be quite embarrassing. So they are free to investigate. I think INEC now will now come out to say, yes, this man stepped forward, he did the right thing, he applied for the transfer of his registration, he followed the laid down procedure, and we officially withdrew his old registration and then had him, registered in the place where hopefully he will vote in the next election. Remember, he didn't vote. When you go back and look at Yaya Bello as an individual, Yaya Bello is an electoral aberration. Yaya Bello, by the laws of Nigeria, you you can only be deemed to have been duly elected when you voted and you are voted for.
Yeah.
That is why people go to their villages to be registered and they partake in the election. They vote. You cannot be deemed to have been elected if you did not participate in that voting process. Not just talking about primaries. You have to be seen to be voting on the day. It's there in black and white. So in the last election in Kogi, he was not, in the Kogi election, he was not a candidate because he did not take part in the election. He merely went, thanks to the people in the presidency, the Aso Rock people, he went and inherited other people's sweat, or the votes that were given to other people freely. He inherited and then got a few thousand votes and he became governor. He did not vote. And in my view, since he was not on the ballot, he was not voted for. So that
But that was not his doing, though.
Eh?
That was not his doing.
No, because he couldn't. See, let me tell you, he had no plan to even take part in that election. After he lost the primaries, to Abubakar Audu, he went to court. He went to court wanting the court to declare that Abubakar Audu should not be the candidate of the party because of his case with TFCC, the running corruption case and all that. You know, so he had given up. He had no plan, and because he had no plan to sustain his interest in that contest, he never registered and never got his registration transferred. Because after the primaries, he could even have sought for a transfer of his registration so that he can vote on election day. But there was nothing like that. On election day, he did not vote anywhere because people went to Agaza to try and see whether he would vote. But you cannot vote without a voter card. His voter card is reading Abuja, so you can't use Abuja voter card to go and vote in Okene. So that didn't happen. So it was not voted for, and he did not vote in the election.
All right, we need to quickly take this break and return to continue the discussion. Stay with us. All right, you're still watching Journalist Hangout, and we're looking at Senate probing, wanting to probe Kogi State Governor over alleged double registration. Now, Chris, before we went on break, we're trying to analyze the process for which the governor, Kogi State Governor, got his voter registration. But you made mention of something earlier where you want to see the voice of Jacob and the hands of Esau. I'd like you to talk more on that. Could it be that there is something more to this than meets the eye?
Yes, I think everything is looking up to 2019 or beyond. Now, alignment is taking place. Old foes and friends are realigning. Reconciliation is going on, and if you know the circumstances under which the Kogi Governor came to office, that's why it's very painful to some of us, because this is a young man that had his bread buttered. It was not only butter for him, he was even given a giant cup of tea with milk and sugar and honey to go with it.
So that you should take honey and sugar together.
They gave both honey and sugar together. That's a mix.
You should mix them.
They mix it together.
That's Jetty.
Yes, well, maybe that is why he's suffering for Jetty this time, because he didn't fight for this. Okay, so much is expected of him. Okay, at least to right the wrongs. The people of Kogi, with the help of the presidency, I will always say that with the help of the presidency, got Yaya Bello the ticket, okay? And so much is expected of him. But back to the question, the Senate, as I said, if you know the relationship between the Senate president and the senator representing, I think, Kogi West, the senator representing Kogi West in the Senate, you know that Dino will do anything
But he wasn't the one that moved the motion, though.
No, he doesn't have to. You don't know how politics runs. Dino cannot move such a motion.
No, he doesn't need to move.
He doesn't need to move the motion. It's not. This is politics. He doesn't. In fact, he might not even be in the house, in the Senate chamber the day the motion will be moved. That's politics. The whole thing is done in the background. People just come there and they agree and take motions and the rest of that. But I'll give the Senate the benefit of the doubt. I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. I want to see them go through this, whatever the reason. I personally don't feel it's necessary. They should leave INEC to do their work. It's not for the Senate to determine who got registered or who didn't get registered. There are so many people. What the Senate, I think, should be doing now is to probe why so many people are finding it difficult to get registered. That is the issue. Go to Abuja.
Even in Lagos.
I don't even know the situation there, but I know of Abuja. If you know what people go through to just get registered, some people come to the police as early as 5 a.m.
That was why I talked about the process earlier.
The process is that is what the Senate and the National Assembly should be looking into. Because the way we are going about it, if care is not taken, so many people will be disenfranchised. In 2019, all those that were not up to 18 before the last election supposed to be registered. All those that lost their voter cards and the rest of them, they need to update it. Those that moved, there are so many people that were moved from where they were transferred. They have to get it. So those are the issues that should be bothering the National Assembly. For me, as of now, not whether I don't think the Senate has done anything. Jide, please correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if the Senate has done anything about that. If they have been hearing, if they've invited the chairman of INEC. I wouldn't even know whether they will do that because presently they're having issues with INEC on the order of election. Okay.
Maybe they will do that tomorrow.
Yes, sorry.
Maybe they will do that.
Maybe they will do that. Maybe they will do that tomorrow.
All right.
But I think that
we have a caller on the line calling from Imo. Are you there? Go ahead with your contribution. Hello? Are you there? Ade, are you there?
Hello, yeah.
All right, go ahead with your contribution.
Yeah, good evening. This are they calling from Northampton.
All right.
I just want to contribute. Yeah, I want to contribute to your program on Yaya Bello's case.
Yes. Please keep talking.
Go ahead,
keep talking.
go ahead.
Don't listen to yourself.
Just go ahead.
Don't listen to yourself. Keep talking.
I want to disagree with Babajide Otitoloju's case, saying that and the other man that the presidency helped Yaya Bello out. At least the case was taken to the court, and the court took a decision. So there is a separation of power. So why are they hammering on the presidency? One, and Babajide Otitoloju, because he's biased against the governor. I don't have anything to do with the governor, but we don't have to discuss on biased basis. He's been biased about the governor.
Thank you.
All right, Ade, thank you for your contribution. Maybe Jide, you might want to play.
You see, what people fail to realize is that on this program, it is my opinion that I'm asked to express.
Yes. Yeah.
I can choose to be biased against anybody. It's my opinion that this is the nature of the program. I'm not writing a story, whereby when you are writing a story, you make sure you get views from here, get views from there, to ensure that the story is balanced. By the nature of this program, I'm asked to express my opinion. What I do not do is lie against anybody, but I can have soft spot for someone. I can choose not to have soft spot for someone, but I will never lie against you. Whatever I say on the program is the truth. And we've had people coming to say, okay, so person, what are you even talking about? Kogi, I've said that Kogi State is no longer my state. So I'm free to express my view. I've adopted Ekiti State as my state. I've adopted Omuwoke as my hometown. No I'm free. I'm free now to talk about Kogi like an outsider. Like an outsider. So that is the thing. I said from the beginning that the Senate is wasting its time. So what is the bias that he's talking about? I'm looking at this. What does the law say? You cannot be registered twice. One has to be withdrawn. And I'm saying, look, Perhaps now he has officially written to the INEC to have the registration in Wuse that he did in 2011 withdrawn. So people will...
The aspect of the presidency helping him to become a governor and the other aspect
he said I was...
Even the Attorney General of the Federation, I know he fears God. The Attorney General is the son of a Grand Caddy. I know that he cannot say that he did not help Yaya to get there, because the interpretation, the advice, the legal advice that suddenly made him the candidate was from the Attorney General. So if that is not help, then what is it? Is it when a man who was not in the picture was suddenly brought in? So if that was not help, what is help? What is the interpretation of help?
All right, let's quickly go back to the question, the main topic, because we'll soon be moving to the next issue. Now, there were also talks about this whole process, this investigation, helping to sanitize the electoral system, seeing 2019 is ahead of us. Jide, how is this going to achieve that?
Yeah, whatever they want to do to make the process better, they should do it, and they will get my support in doing that. There certainly are many things that we need to look at. How can people get registered without any qualms? Because it's not this difficult in other countries of the world. That's why even voting on election day is like fun for most people. But for us, we lock up everywhere, we queue up in the sun and all that. Election should be like a kind of jamboree that people will enjoy, will have fun, will do a lot of backslapping. You know, something that we need to look forward to. But in Nigeria, we look, when elections are approaching, we have our hearts in our mouths. People will think that it will go with violence and all that. So the National Assembly should assist in making the process much more seamless for our people. And then the issue of double registration is a problem in our country. There are many other people who will register with fake names and all that. The Senate should look at how to clean up the system. Perhaps what happened with Yaya will throw up the need to even sanitize this whole thing. So if that is how they want to look at it, fine. We know the governor has immunity. There's nothing they can do about that until he's out of power. But they need to look at how INEC can get better. If INEC will need better funding, better preparation for election. INEC will need the issue of underage voting. Where 8-year-olds who do not even know anything about what they are doing, who can't explain their actions, are on the queue, being used to vote. It has to stop, because it's even child abuse. You put little boys on the queue to go and vote. INEC has to do that. INEC can't sit back and be saying, no, it is not our fault. The voter cards that were used for those elections, in the local government election in those states, were generated by INEC. So INEC has to look within and sanitize its processes. And the National Assembly can actually assist it in making this happen. It can assist it with the right laws that will make INEC the INEC of our dreams, not just an INEC that we'll be frustrated about.
Quickly, the matter was referred to the Senate Committee on INEC, who are to revert in 2 weeks with a report. What do you expect? And also the same question I asked Judy, how is this going to sanitize?
Yes, I think the Senate should do, so not only the Senate, the National Assembly, because where we say the Senate, if the Senate makes a law and there's no concurrence between the Senate and House of Reps, first and foremost, they should look at diaspora voting. We should go beyond. If you know the number of Nigerians outside this country that want to participate in the system, the process, it's becoming very, very difficult. It's very simple. If the U.S. election...
drive come down to Nigeria.
No.
I'm saying because they want to be part of...
Yes, because they have to drive. Most of them have to drive and travel from all parts of the world to go to
I lost a friend of mine in Kaduna.
Yes.
He was based in the UK. He came down, Idris, from Kogi State. He came down to take part in the election. And he was struck down by malaria. Do you know that he died?
He died.
Because the hospital that they took him to, They didn't take good care of him. He died. Somebody who had a good job in the UK who came home just to be part of this whole thing. It should be possible for our people to vote wherever they are. We don't need to risk their lives coming down to Nigeria.
Independent candidacy. That issue should also be resolved. I saw somebody yesterday saying that it's coming up. Some other people already started saying they want to come up. They don't have to go through the process of looking for a party to participate. And if Jide has the wherewithal and is somebody and he has a fan base, he doesn't have to go to APC or PDP or Labour or whatever. He can come out and say, I want to be the governor of the president of Nigeria. And those of us are his friends, we follow him. But Jide cannot rise up today and say he wants to go and contest for governorship under APC, PDP, Labour. They'll ask you, what of the process? Do you have the money? They'll ask you, who is your father? Who is your godfather?
They'll tell me to line
They'll
up.
tell you to line up. You have to. They'll say, look at
when
here.
It's your turn.
When is your turn? Wait. So that is the process.
Or you will go through the popular Baba Sokwe.
Yeah, Baba Sokwe, you know, Baba Sokwe. So those are the very, very key, because the way we are going about, we are still talking about trivial issues that doesn't bring anything to the table. There are fundamental issues, errors within our electoral laws that should be handled. And even the process of registration, I don't need to go to any police station to start getting myself registered. Yes. They can make it very easy for people to go online.
If we even, that's the thing. If everything is automated, wherever you find yourself in the country, you should be able to
or
vote.
Even the world.
Wherever you go to an INEC center, your image should pop up.
Yeah.
Your image should pop up.
Yes. Once you have your data in the car,
you have a central server for everybody.
That is all.
Your image should pop up and you should be able to vote.
And that's
Many people have been transferred to different states since the last election, and they are finding it difficult to get registered where they are now.
Do you even know that there are so many voters cards that are in some states?
Whereas there are many voters cards that are unclaimed.
Unclaimed.
So many of those voter cards unclaimed. The registration was done by people who do not exist.
That is it.
All right, now let's quickly move on. When we return, APC National Chairman Oyegun National Working Committee members get 1-year extension. Stay with us. All right, the fear of 2019 is the beginning of wisdom for the All Progressives Congress APC, which is already facing crisis in some states. Many have speculated that the party's leadership might be sent packing due to perceived cracks in the party. But on Tuesday, the APC National Executive Committee extended John Odige Oyegun's tenure by 1 year. It fears that holding its planned elective convention in June could complicate the existing internal dissension within the ruling party. The party hopes to avert a pre-election crisis that might arise from multiple congresses and convention ahead of the 2019 elections. Oyegun believes the decision was taken in good faith. In good faith, Jide? Do you share this?
What do you expect him to say? He is the biggest beneficiary of the decision. So do we expect Oyegun to say, no, that decision is a bad one? When you are the biggest beneficiary of that decision, you can't say that. The questions that we expect politicians to answer sometimes are ridiculous. This decision has been made. Someone goes to you. How do you feel about this decision? You want him to tell you, do I feel bad about it? When he's been told that, look, this is an extension for you. You will be the chairman until after the election. Can he say no, that that was a bad decision? Something that he had lobbied for? Something that he had prayed for? He saw disaster looming. Suddenly it transformed into joy for him and rest of mind. So what kind of answer do you expect him to give? Oyegun, of course, will come and say, yes, this was a good decision. That this is a decision that should even have been taken a long time ago. That's the thing. Politics is an interest-driven game. It is in Oyegun's best interest to remain as chairman. Whatever people, the naysayers are saying, what will please him is to remain there. Yes, so many people have risen against him, but what will please him is to remain chairman. And especially the governors who are first-time governors, they see Oyegun as someone who continues to do their bidding. They don't want anything to rock the boat between now and the time of the election. Now, what this means is that, look, the crisis in the party A lot of those crises were even induced by Oyegun's lack of even-handedness in the first place. You see crisis in Adamawa State, crisis in Kaduna. You cannot divorce Oyegun from a lot of those crises in the party. Now, what is the implication of that? It means that some people will ultimately lose out because this decision has given power, has put power in the hands of the governors, because the status quo will be maintained. And when that status quo is maintained, the grieving people, the angry people within the party know that, look, there's nowhere else to go. This chairman that you are not happy with him because he appears to be pandering consistently to the whims of some governors, you now know that you have to continue to deal with him. Within the zonal chairman, as the national vice chairman of APC for the geopolitical zones are called, they have their own issues with Oyegun, running states with, with caretaker committees and all that, without reference to the National Working Committee members. Yeah. But now what this has done is to say, okay, all of you, including those of you ESCO members who are not particularly happy with Oyegun, all of you remain in office till after the election. So what that also means is that for those of them who are scared of what could happen in June if a convention were to take place, they have the arrest of mind now, so they can now begin to realign that, okay, this Oyegun where we dey fight, say make them pursue him, will now go to him, okay. Will now realign and see how we can
remain. Solve the crisis in some of the states?
No. In some of the states, the crisis will remain. What would then be required of Oyegun at this time is to show leadership, because he has not shown leadership as national chairman of that party. That's why the party is fractured in no less than 10 states. What this now means, the new mandate given to him, he now has to use it well by reaching out the clear disinterest in trying to solve those problems. The chairman now has to forget his bias for governors and for certain people in the party and reach out now to ensure that the crisis is resolved. And if you saw the way the governor of Kogi State, who spoke on behalf of these people, of the party, so that clearly they expect Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who has been mandated by the president to resolve those crises. They expect so much from him. Now that these people will remain in office, they will expect Asiwaju to be able to resolve those problems here and there. All right,
quickly, Chris, let me bring you in. On the flip side, the Zamfara State Governor Abdulaziz Yari is saying that there is no tenure allegation, that this is just an expression of desire, that such cannot happen without an amendment of the party's constitution.
Yes. The APC, as it stands now, is a house divided against itself. And what we are seeing now is what played out in 2014, just before the election, within the PDP, where they start dodging, having congresses and the rest of them, just because they don't want to rock the boat and the rest of them. But my own quarry, my own problem is that I personally would have thought that they should have given the chairman of the Reconciliation Committee enough time to be able to reconcile most of the aggrieved parties. And he's already doing a good job. Look at the fantastic job he did. Whoever believed that Wamako and what's his name, Tamboa, whoever be reconciled. He did that effortlessly. That's Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I have been doing it. I was expecting him to allow him to get into Kano, because Kano is a very, very vital state for the APC if they are to win the 2019. If they go into the election divided in Kano, as it stands, with Ganduje and Kwakwanso, there will be problem. There will be serious problem. And why Kwakwanso are not? I'm coming to Kaduna. Kwankwaso has not come out to say anything. It's Ganduje that has been talking all this while. Oh, I will not reconcile. Why you will not do it? But there is a serious problem. In every election, if the president, if APC expects the 2 million and so plus 2 million.
12 million. Okay.
No, from
Kano.
Kano. That they've always got in the past. There will be big problem this time around. And if they're expecting the 12 million bulk vote, which they think that the president have always had, all this while, there'll be problem. Because all they need to do, all the other parties need to do, whether the opposition, it brings somebody's, it may not be as strong, totally as strong as president.
But this decision is not stopping the reconciliation process.
It is not, but already, as he said, Ajide said, there are some people that are aggrieved by that decision already.
Yes.
Isn't that going to happen? Isn't that normal?
No, it's normal.
It's normal. It's normal in politics. All of them cannot be pleased.
Yeah.
But the issue is that, listen, some of those that even some of the state chairmen, they were not even aware that such decision was going to be taken. They were not told. That they just came and they had this thing, and the decision was...
They are beneficiaries.
And they're just beneficiaries, but they are beneficiaries. What I'm trying to say, in essence, is that there is the need for the APC to trade gently, and what my people call nwayoli.
Carefully.
Carefully. That's it, carefully. Now, Kaduna is in crisis. Kano is in crisis. Adamawa is in crisis. Even Kogi is in crisis.
No,
that one is gone. Benue is almost going. I don't know where Benue stands.
Benue, the way it is now.
The way it is.
And they've reconciled Suswam and the governor.
That's what I'm saying. We saw what happened in this thing. Suswan and the governor are reconciled. So most of these key states where APC had a very strong vote, that you can just say, close your eyes and let's just go to bed.
You know what I
You
always
cannot even
tell
close
people.
your eyes now.
You know what
So
I always tell people?
Yeah.
It is possible for the president to get his 12 million votes and still not win the election.
Definitely.
Because that happened in 2011. He will win his traditional state, but he may not win the election. Yeah. If you do not resolve some outstanding issues, to go into the election feeling complacent, feeling that, look, whatever happens, we'll win the election, is dangerous.
But
because so many things are happening that have already disappointed Nigerians. So the president needs to ensure that the party is tightened up. Reconcile aggrieved parties, because PDP lost out because of the internal crisis within it.
Yes.
APC is a big beneficiary of the crisis in the PDP.
Yes, that's
19 governors.
You just hold the thought. We have Ibrahim calling from Gombe State. Go ahead, Ibrahim.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I want to contribute the first issue about that double registration.
Okay.
With this kind of thing going on for a governor, I think INEC are not trying to tell us that there will be a credible election 2019. Because if a governor can do something like the transfer, for you to transfer your vote, as in your voters registration something, it just takes 1 week. And for a governor like him, it's something that he can do it in a day. That is if he wants it. So I don't see a reason why they are twisting the thing. INEC are trying to tell us that there won't be credible election 2019. Secondly, I want to comment on your program, especially the debate. Someone has passed, and I like.
All right, thank you, Ibrahim, for your contribution. Yeah, you were going with a line of thought, and I wanted to say that the reason why the decision was reached was for the party to focus.
They are saying, it's not simply to focus. The fear of the unknown drove them to take this decision, because when you look around, you see crisis left, right, and center, and you are approaching a convention. You won't be able to tell yourself how it will pan out. Nothing scares the APC leaders at this time more than going into a convention, a divided house, because it will bring big problems for the party. So they've been scared, for so long. They didn't even to even call meeting. They can't call what's it called of the party? Board of Trustees of the party is not properly constituted. So they have all kinds of crises. Some people are carving out fiefdoms for themselves within the party. They are making themselves strong and making other people weak. The impunity that we talked about in the APC, the PDP, the impunity is alive and well even within the APC. But when you hear about some actions or some people, you will be wondering, is it that they've not even picked up valuable lessons from what befell the PDP? And the convention in June, they were scared and they felt, look, it is better for things to be left the way they are than for us to go to a convention that we are not sure of what the outcome will be like. The outcome could actually make or mar the party. That's what they were scared of. You know, when you have at least 10 states where there's crisis and all that, you know, big crisis. So they just felt, well, it is better to just leave things the way they are now. The issue of reconciliation, Asiwaju will do his magic and will be able to help us to bond the party together. I think that is what they are thinking. And look, if they had gone for convention, even some of the NWC members, chances are, or some of those zonal chairmen, chances are that they will lose their positions. But today, everybody has been able to keep peace by this decision. Everybody is a beneficiary, whether at state level or at ward level or at the federal level. Everybody has been able to hold on to his position. So at least that will make them feel comfortable. That will give some semblance of continuity, and they can go into the election like one body, like one body, at least much more united than they could have been if they were to go into that context. They said it clearly that, look, in this state, the worst that can happen to us is to go and face a convention in a divided state.
All right, quickly, we have a caller on the line from Lagos. Go ahead with your contribution.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My contribution on this program today is directly to Babajide. Babajide, you see, we are living in a society where people do not want to accept the truth anymore.
Yes.
So, if all of us accept the truth and we go by the truth, our society will not be the way it is today.
You are right.
So, when you are talking, I see people, even as last week, I tried to get to this program, to give to the call, but they didn't pick my call. You know, I'm from Kogi State, it's in a local government, and I'm a grassroots politician.
Yes.
Captain Wada lost election not because he's an Ibra man. He lost election because he did not perform.
Yes.
I'm from the same village with Captain Wada. He wrote this in his village, he did not do, and we voted against him there.
Yes.
So, when you are making comments about Kogi, I see some people calling as if there's a fight between Ibra and Igala. It's not like that.
No, don't mind them.
We are taking our position against the government of Yaya Bello because he did not perform, not because he's an Ibra man. If Paleke even succeeded at the time he was coming, we will all support Paleke because Paleke is a product of Audu. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, regardless of what people may call to tell you, you need to stand your ground. We are living in a society where everybody hates the truth.
They don't even like the truth in Nigeria anymore.
They don't even like the truth. If you go to
you are right.
All right, Isa, thank you for your contribution.
I'm happy that every time that some people call to try to abuse me, insult me for saying the truth, other people always call to say, no, this is not how it seems. I remember when the army got some people to come and be abusing me here in TVC. 3 different people from the Northeast were calling in to abuse them. That look, Jide was saying the truth, he went to the Northeast, everything he said is true. It's you people who are not saying the truth. So, and the truth always prevails. It always prevails, no matter how long it takes. You know a lot of what we have talked about, that look, this crisis is not over. Yeah. Let's stop deceiving ourselves. Is it not being clear to us now
that it's not over?
That the enemy that we've been rolling out the drums that we defeated, it still remains dangerous? They still killed soldiers yesterday? Is it not? So the truth by evidence will prevail ultimately. So me, I'm no longer bothered when people call in to say you are lying, you are this. It's our way. Okay. People will say not their way. So it's not our way.
Yeah. Now we have Daniel on the line. Daniel, are you there?
Good evening.
Good evening.
My good people. How are you today?
Very well, thank you.
Great too.
I want to greet Babajide. He's doing a great job, but today I don't think he's really getting something the way I think it's supposed to be. I don't think the Senate have every right to be doing what they are doing at this point.
We have said that. We said that in the beginning.
Is busy jumping up and down within Omalaye, trying to drag our attention to what is going on in Kogi. Kogi is too small compared to the whole Federal Republic of Nigeria. We are in March. Budget has not been passed, and people are busy dilly-dallying or something that have no meaning. Why can't the Senate sit there and do their job? Whether Bello is voting from Kano is voting
we have said that. We said that now.
That's what we said.
Daniel, we said that in the beginning.
That a lot of millions of Nigerians are waiting for a budget to be passed.
Oh.
Is this a banana republic?
That's what we.
Don't worry, Daniel, we said it.
I'm working for Kano now.
I'm afraid we have to let you go because we are running out of time.
We said that.
We talked about that. Now, the president is pushing for internal democracy within the party, and this decision, how is that going to ensure that quickly because we're running out of time?
Okay, my take. The president has not shown the will, or he has not really put his feet down as far as the issue of the party is concerned, as far as I'm concerned. The president has the wherewithal, he has the power, he has the reach. There is no person that is aggrieved in the APC that the president cannot call and just have a roundtable discussion with. The president, if the chairman doesn't know his job, he's the leader of the party, irrespective of the fact that APC has a leader. That's the leader. If the president called Kwakwanso and called Gonduje and sit them down and say, young men, this and these are the issue. Can we just bury the hatchet? There and there. I don't see them fighting themselves and dividing them. So I think the president can still do more.
He needs to do more.
The president needs to do more if this party must be able to come out. Because he's the greatest beneficiary. He's the greatest beneficiary to whatever is. So if he's the general that is going to lead the APC to war in 2019. So if he's going to lead a divided house.
It hasn't been determined yet.
Forget about whatever anybody says. Except anything happens. I don't see
that decision is his, and he has not taken.
He has not taken that decision. But those around him have already told us that the man is running bets.
But it's not their place to decide.
Even if I don't want to see a president. I'm not envisaging a president of APC that will hand over to
PDP. How is this decision going to, ensure internal democracy that the president is clamoring for?
No, this decision has little or nothing to do with internal democracy, because if we are to look at internal democracy, then they should have allowed the convention to proceed. Let us test the popularity of those fellows in form of a national convention of the party. But that didn't happen. Okay. Now, so we can't even talk about internal democracy there. I think the president is looking at the primaries. You see, if the primaries, if they don't follow, if they don't allow internal democracy to prevail during the primaries, it could cost them. At least 19 of the current governors today, up till December 5, 2014, were still in the PDP. They left after the primaries. They got angry about the way the primaries went, and they joined the APC. People like Yotom, Yotom lost out during the primaries. It's not people like Atiku Bagudu, the governor of Kebbi State. He lost out and then went to the APC. Today they are governors. So internal democracy has to be given that pride of place in the APC to make the party more cohesive, to make the party stronger, to make everyone in the party feel that they truly belong to the party. But if you handpick candidates, that's what Buhari is against. If you handpick candidates, it can hurt the party in the final analysis. And Buhari knows that, because in the past, even Buhari handpicked candidates in Kano and Katsina in 2011, and the people rejected the candidates that Buhari handpicked.
We can only watch how things pan out in the coming months. But thank you, gentlemen, for your insights in the topics. Well, that's all on Journalist Hangouts. Join us tomorrow for another interesting episode of the program. Watch the repeat broadcast tonight at 11. You can also watch Journalist Hangout on other platforms showing on the screen and on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. Our feedback channel is Journalist Hangout at tvcnews.tv. I am Veronica Danny Boy. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.